Welcome back, guys and gals. It's Kartan here, and today we're just here with, to be honest, a little rant. I'm not going to lie. I've wrote nothing down, haven't made a script. We're just going to go at it. And as you can see on screen here, it's about VAR. This is a series I'm starting called Get in the Bin, and it's just going to be basically about topics, news, whatever's going on in the world, possibly a lot about the football world, because that's what I'm into. And the thing that's been in the news in the football world a lot is bloody VAR. In my opinion, as you can tell by getting the bin, obviously don't like it. In my opinion, it's a fucking disgrace that it's in the game. It's ruined the game for over a year now. Yes, it's had some positives, brought some things to the game, but in general, it's ruining it. So yeah, some of you may like VAR, some of you may hate it, like I do. But I'm going to be going over the points that I think explain why VAR is awful for the Premier League, awful for football in general, not just the Premier League. And I hate to see it introduced anywhere in the Football League because it would just spoil the Football League as well. But we'll get straight into it. Get in the bin, VAR. So, firstly, we're going to talk about the incident you can see on screen here, which is the Mane offside decision in the Liverpool Everton Merseyside derby this weekend. Come on, anybody who can see this, you can see on screen here, it's clearly onside, which will get us into the further point by we just don't have the technology to do this, but I'll explain that later. We'll talk about this decision in particular. I'm looking at this right here on my screen. I've seen it multiple times. And to me, tell it to anyone, that is not offside. When has being level been offside? And we've got to introduce some sort of attacker's advantage in these scenarios. Because if you're going to go by millimetres, it's just ridiculous. Liverpool should have went 3-2 up in the 93rd minute of this game, realistically. And the, it went down to the checked it or during these lines. How can you check it using these lines? I'll go into it more later. But basically, the man was onside. Mane was onside. The ball falls to Hennessy, puts the ball in the back of the net. Pickford, bit questionable. Probably should have got a stronger hand down to it, but it was a goal. It should have been a goal. Liverpool won that game. They did. They just won it. They did. Fuck VAR. But also another VAR decision that happened, not in this picture here, but in the same game, the Van Dijk Pickford challenge. Well, Pickford Van Dijk challenge, should we say. How can that not be given as booking or a red card? Fair enough, Van Dijk was offside in the build up, or somebody was offside in the build up of that goal. Therefore, it's not a penalty. It can't be a foul. However, it's violent conduct. It is violent conduct. It's endangering your opponent. It is a red card. Pickford's went in there and he's absolutely crunched Van Dijk. Fair play to Pickford. He got stuck in, and as a goalkeeper, I would probably do exactly the same. It obviously wasn't on purpose. He didn't do it. He just went for the ball. But he's absolutely half Van Dijk in the process. He's took him out. And if you're going to use VAR to look at the offside and go, yes, that is offside. Yes, that should be a free kick to Everton. How can you then not look at the challenge which happened on the same situation and say, look, that's a booking or a red card, depending on what the decision. I would personally say red card. However, some people would say a booking. Either way, Pickford's got to get a booking or a card of some sort in during that challenge because it was Van Connor. It was a bad tackle on Van Dijk, which is causing him to be out. But one thing, this is a bit off the top of VAR, but these Liverpool fans going on about bloody as if he's dead. It's fucking ridiculous. Him and Allison, it wasn't supposed to end like this. I've seen tweets all over. It's an absolute joke. It's just fucking piss take. I love Liverpool. I like the fans, but it's so sneaky and sad, man. So moving on from the incidents on Saturdays with VAR, we're going to move on to the points I've made that say why VAR just shouldn't be in the game, should get rid of it, scrap it completely, in my opinion. Get in the bin, VAR. So we'll start with point number one, which you see in the top left corner, inept technology. So what you were looking at here is the fact that we do not have the technology available to even measure what they're trying to measure and look at these decisions. We don't have the technology to measure millimetre by millimetre whether a player's offside like that. So how can we use technology that physically we do not have to make these decisions? We're judging a player offside by millimetres, and we physically can't see it. It isn't possible to prove that. We can't use technology if it doesn't work. So, moving quite swiftly on to point number two. VAR was meant to get rid of human error, referees making a mistake, causing a talking point in the game, which ends up in a wrongly made offside, wrong foul, not seeing the ball go out of play, this type of thing. However, it's still coming down to a little bloke sitting in a room, probably all comfy with his bloody Coca-Cola in one eye, or probably an alcoholic beverage, some that we've been seeing these, fucking sat there with his whiskey, sitting there loving life, or what we're talking about, maybe a Jack Daniels and Coke, just whatever he fancies really. He'll just be sitting in his comfy room with his feet up, chilling. You can't say this, but I'm sat here chilling with my feet up at the minute, just to represent how the VAR referee would be sat in his lovely little room, cushioned. I bet he's being oh no, I imagine him. He sat there, and it still comes down to that human error. He still makes that decision. He still looks at it and goes, "Yep, that's a foul. Yep, that's it." He may be able to look at it again and again, but it still doesn't remove human error. That referee can still make a mistake, which we've seen multiple times this season, where decisions are made based on 1 millimeters that they can't even see. So watching it again and again doesn't make a difference. It doesn't mean, oh yeah, if I watch it again, I now see the millimeters. No, that's not how it works. Realistically, it still comes down to this human error where referees are making mistakes just because we're humans. That's what happens. VAR doesn't stop human error, which is what technology is brought in the game for. Hawkeye, brilliant. It's one that came in, goal line technology. It's done great because that does remove human error. VAR doesn't. That's why. Get in the bin, VAR. Aye, now this one is probably the main reason. How can a fan celebrate if it can just be chalked off for nothing 30 seconds later? I've seen it happen, right? We have celebrated in League One, right? Where referees give a offside flag after I've started celebrating. But fair enough. If I didn't see the flag, that's my fault. However, when you're celebrating gone mental, no flags up, the referees gave the goal, and then you go, oh, a little man in this room's decided it is now fucking offside by 1.2 millimeters. I piss off. Like, that's a joke, that's a fucking joke. I could not be going to game. Like, I know I'd still celebrate, but I'd look like a right mug when I'm celebrating fucking a last minute when only for it to get choked offside or for it to be given a foul 20 minutes earlier. Like, that's the type of thing. This adrenaline rush that you get from scoring a goal and celebrating is why we're there as fans. That's why we love football. It's like a hit of like ecstasy, like something you can't match it. There's no fucking drug that matches that. That dopamine hit when the goal goes in the back of the net last minute where you're celebrating. There's thousands of yous all celebrating the same fucking thing. Only for a little man, as I said, sat up in his room, chilling, going, nah, mate, fucking offside, piss off. That's why it ruins football. It does. It ruins celebrations. And what's football without fans? Imagine a ball goes in the back of the net and you're scared to celebrate. What's the fucking point of you being there? And my final point, get in the bin. VAR. It ruins the game flow. Having a decision made in game while you're trying to, the ball goes out of play enough. The ball's only in play for 45 to 60 minutes in a game because of how often it's off the pitch. And you want to stop it more often for a referee to stand 3-4 minutes making a decision. Running between a screen, fair enough. I do think the screen, if we're going to keep VAR, they've got to be using the screen more. And that referee on the pitch has got to take responsibility for the decision instead of little man chilling in his room, like I've said earlier. But how can we wait 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fucking minutes for a bloke to make a decision? It's absolutely ridiculous. I would hate to watch a football game when I'm sat in suspense waiting for something like that to happen. How bad is it when a player gets an injury and you sat around 4 or 5 minutes? It chops up the game. It splits it up. It ruins what's it called? Momentum. It ruins anything like that. Like a team scores a goal and then they've got to wait 3 or 4 minutes and then eventually gets shot off or gets given. Like that ruins the momentum. It ruins the flow of the game. It ruins intensity. It ruins the crowd because what you're not going to be celebrating for singing for those next 4 minutes or however long it's going to take because you're worried which way the decision's going to go. But in general, it just ruins the flow of the game. And the flow of the game is what makes football back and forth. Like, oh, it really does piss us off. Get in the bin, VAR. Yeah, so that's my reasoning but why VAR needs to get in the bin. The first thing, and it's because that's why I've chose this to be my first topic, because I think it's absolutely fucking ridiculous that this is still in the game. Please leave your views in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. I've read up a bit about this. I've seen some people are for it, some people against. So I'd love to hear what you think, and maybe some improvements. Maybe because I reckon it's in the game to stay for now. So maybe some improvements to VAR could hear in the comments. I may do a video on that, some improvements. But yep, that's been Kartan for today. I'll see you next time. We'll get another get in the bin next. You never know. It's been great to see you. Thanks, guys and girls. See you next time. Being your boy, Kartan.